spot on because we have had 2 cars in almost 10 minutes left, so that's about it. So just a reminder for everyone, if you want to do the driverless acceleration, keep in mind that it takes quite some time to finish. Be here on time. I don't think the track conditions will change that much. It's not going to be as hot as, well, maybe last couple of days. So the track will pretty much stay the same.
Yeah, it is very nice and cool here. Also compared to last year's, I think the last few days have already been much kinder to us.
Yeah, we're not complaining at all.
No,
that we are not burning up on the asphalt here.
I hope it continues that way. I think the track is clear now, though, for Deggendorf.
Yeah, I think Christian Ammersbach, well, the leader of the driverless events, operations leader, the guy is ultimately also responsible for all the safety on track. He's just making sure that timekeeping is doing its job, and also everything is safe for not just for the team members, but also for the audience. And we have a lot of photographers walking around as well. A lot of on-viewers behind the fences, so that they're pretty safe. And everybody just standing back, because these cars actually can go in reverse, right? So also one of the rules is don't stand well exactly behind the car, because you never know with these autonomous cars.
Yeah, indeed. Don't stand anywhere where it could hit you. They're not allowed to be able to drive backwards. We've seen, I think, Green Team run into that a couple of years ago. But yeah, mostly forwards. With a lot of vigor goes Deggendorf towards the finish line. It continues for quite a bit, but there is a defined end zone. I do see the T-cell green at least. I can't make out the solid blue light from here. Also, based on the beeping, I am not convinced that that was necessarily a valid run. Mickey, our predictions are holding true so far. The 4th car of the day is lined up. And off we go. Very straight run. Cross the line. Solid blue lights. It's a valid run. Just as a reminder, of course, we want to see the orange flashing from the cars as they drive. That indicates that the autonomous system is doing its thing. Once we cross the finish line, the car itself has to detect the event as such and stop by itself and indicate that it has done so. With a solid blue light, once it starts flashing blue, that means that with the remote control that the team members have here, they have remotely saved the vehicle so that it doesn't drive off by itself as they approach, like they do now.
Yeah, so they put in a 5.56, which is only 0.05 of a second slower than Leuven earlier. Yeah, so four runs in, 5.5 seconds. I think it can go 2 seconds. I mean, the faster teams will go below 4 seconds for sure.
Yeah, I would really hope so. I'm also seeing now, as the Zurich car is getting pushed to the line, something that I haven't seen a team member do in a long time, but is, I think, very smart. He's very carefully checking the alignment, get the car going as straight as possible. Sometimes the driverless cars have a tendency to slightly overcorrect, and then it very quickly goes wrong off the track. And I think now we finally have our little timing screen working here. We can see the car number that's lined up, and we'll also be able to see the time directly.
Yeah, we have, just to let everybody know, the secret army behind the scenes is our timekeeping guys. You don't see them a lot, especially when it's sunny. They don't come out, but they are always in some kind of van or some kind of construction that keeps the sun out. But they are doing a hell of a job to make sure that timekeeping. They have backup systems as well, because you know it's all about the points and in the end, and they want to make sure that everything works and is backed up as well. And they're doing a great job to make sure that this event, which is kind of complex system that they have developed by themselves, is running smoothly, and so far, well, this year without any big issues.
Yeah, absolutely. We saw some glitches here and there, but they always get resolved really quickly. And as long as you don't take any candy from them, then it's also going to be just fine. Yeah, you talked about the complex systems. One of the specialties here at the FSG acceleration is always the front wheel detection. Just to put it in as fair of a spot as possible. I don't think that is put up for driverless yet, but I think later on this afternoon for the manual accelerations, that will come back. We have the transponders that identify the cars for the timing system. There's multiple little tags spread all over the cars to make that possible. And now, looking at Christian's posture, I think he has given AMZ the go-ahead to get their run going, and he's got a stopwatch running because there is a time limit at the starting line that the driverless teams have to adhere to, and we're off. That's very fast. That's a 3.23. That is the first time a lot faster than the manual teams. And it's a solid blue light. That's an amazing run really early in the day here. Within the first 20 minutes, we're already deep.
Well, we stand corrected. We said 3.5. Well, already it has been broken, our predictions. Yeah, I'm not surprised. This is one of the teams that did well in the previous years as well. And it looks just so solid. Really, really nice.
Yeah, this was a really stable run. Barely any corrections. So the lining up was worth it for them. Really impressive performance. I think if we start scratching the 3 seconds, then we can truly say that yeah, the technology has made it past the manual cars.
Well, previous years we've seen 3.3, 3.4 second accelerations, right, with driver. So that means adding, well, lightest driver maybe 50, 55 kilograms. Usually, because usually the smallest drivers or girls driving the car. So in theory, it should be faster than that, right? It should approach maybe even the 3 second threshold.
Yeah. So once that's why I was saying sub 3 second would be truly impressive. Of course, it was at a different track, but 2 years ago we saw that 2.999 acceleration in FS East from Delft. So once we scratch that number off the leaderboard of the top spot with the driverless cars, then we made it. About 8 years on in the driverless cup.
Yeah, just to go down memory lane, we've seen pretty quick accelerations in Formula Student UK, acceleration that nobody expected. Every team was like, what happened? How is our car so fast? It turns out that they measured the distance, which is 75 meters, but it was 75 yards. It's just a couple of more, well, more or less.
You lose a few centimeters every meter, exactly.
So every team was pleasantly surprised. Let's keep it like that.
Yeah, and indeed, stories like that are what make FSG FSG. The track here usually gets marked out with a millimeter ruler rather than an approximate yardstick. Especially the autocross gets drawn by GPS. And here it's just a straight line, but I think even the gaps between the cones get very carefully laid out. Next up we have Tallinn at the start line. They got going pretty quickly. They just pushed up and flicked a switch. They look pretty relaxed about the whole thing. Personally, this is one of the teams that I'm most impressed by. They had a really meteoric rise within the Formula Student world over the last couple of years. And have also always built really clean and quiet cars. Going deep into the finish zone. But based on their muted reactions, I think they were okay with their performance.
Yeah, the light is solid blue, so they should be happy with that. But I think they pretty much expected it, right? And maybe the second run they will turn up the volume.
Maybe. I mean, this is essentially what you want. You turn up to the event, you know exactly what the car is going to be doing. You flick a switch, you do a run, and then it's no surprises when it works right. If you have tested enough, it only gets dicey if you try to do weird stunts in a competition that you haven't tested yet.
Yeah, you can tell the difference, right, between the teams that have been preparing. They know what to do, and there's so much calmness about the team. Everybody knows their task, and they just remain so much more calm than everybody else. You can immediately tell, okay, these guys know what they're doing. They have been testing, and they know the car. They can predict the car, and then that's why these guys were like, "Yep, sure, it did what it's supposed to do. Well done." No big cheer, of course. They're happy, but they expected it, right? So that maybe explains the lack of cheering.
Yeah, that's how you can distinguish teams and how much time they spent on what aspect of the car. If you can see an experienced car crew, which of course can also be down to just the amount of years that a team member can spend within the team, that's the mark of a well-oiled car crew.
And also our shuttle driver seems to be getting the hang of it, because the first couple of times he had to use the reverse with the beeps, but now he can just make the turn. So it's all about routine and experience.
It's all about practice as well. I think that that whip, he now has it right figured out where on the other side he needs to cross over. Now at the starting line we have car number 7 from the Uni Lisbon. Sounds a little bit like a hairdryer to me. I think I already saw them pushing around the paddock with their LV system on, and that was an hour ago approximately. So they really like to have their fans running to keep things as cool as possible. I hope they don't need it for this acceleration. I wouldn't expect it to, but it is kind of curious that they always leave the fans running. Again, the watchful eye of Christian with the stopwatch. I think we're gonna have to swap cars out here. I think, based on the fact that they haven't tried to engage the driverless system, this is not their run gone. As always, any announcements we make here are non-official, but based on what we saw in the previous years, I don't think they forfeited one of their runs. They might have to go to the back of the queue.
Yeah, so I don't think, yeah, you're exactly right, Jonas. What I saw from the car responsible for this event from the team side, he just took a look at the dashboard and he didn't like what he see on the dashboard probably, and then said, okay, let's abort this one. let's not try it. Go back into the queue and try to fix whatever problem they have, and then try again. So that's a good thing. I mean, it would be a shame to already lose one of your two runs, right?
Yeah, indeed. Again, comes down to knowing the car, knowing what it is trying to tell you. The dashboard is one of the things that seems to distinguish quite a few of the teams. Some are just a couple of LEDs. Others have screens on the dashboard or on the steering wheel itself. So you get various forms of displaying information. Some teams are also just using a laptop next to it with some form of wireless connection. Again, the beauty of Formula Student on display, you see many different implementations to try and solve a similar problem.
Yeah, and online we have car from Dortmund, car number 172. Yeah, just carefully positioning. I love to see the attention to detail. How the push bar guy is slowly measuring where to put the car and trying to be as exact and precise as possible to make it easy for the brains of the car to go straight. So yeah, that's also preparation, right?
Yeah, I think this is really the first time that we're seeing this over the past few years. And I think also the first time that I'm seeing somebody on crutches responsible for the car. So yeah, one more reason to go very carefully. And good on him. I think he'll really enjoy the ride in the golf cart instead of having to retrieve the car on foot.
Yeah, this competition is one of the last ones, right, in the year. And some team members are already on their last leg. Yeah, and off we go with TU Dortmund. Carefully, a little bit of swear. Oh no, a couple of cones hit.
Yeah.
It's just a bit too much. First to the right and then overcorrecting, like you mentioned earlier. A bit too enthusiastically overcorrecting for the swerve and going off on the left side of the track, collecting a couple of cones. But I don't think it's a valid run either because it just
definitely killed it before the finish line.
Yeah.
Had they been willing to risk it a little bit more, they, I think, could have tried. But yeah, the end detection is usually based on the two big cones, the first orange ones at the finish line. So there is also a chance that it just wouldn't have been able to tell that it actually completed the run.
Yeah, it's no use to let the car drive, you know, no matter the cost. It doesn't make sense because you also have the chance that you damage something on the car. So yeah, good call. Better be safe than sorry in the end. It's what we always say here with these driverless cars.
Next up, car number 26, Uni Stuttgart. And also looking down the queue, I see car number 95. And I think that's Dresden behind them. And the cars behind that, I actually can't see from here.
Yeah, Stuttgart, car number 26, historically one of the fastest teams on the acceleration, at least with the driver. But I think one of they're having some kind of debate around the car. The driver or the push driver was being called back and forth to the car. I'm just looking at the responsible from the team. He's making some setup changes, or still not setup changes, but some pressing some buttons on the dashboard to get the car going. Some debate going on with the officials, who are always curious to see what the team member is doing. I think they're allowed to do a lot of things, right? Just before the official procedure starts, they are allowed to push buttons and stuff, right? So.
Indeed, yeah. At some point, I think when Christian gets too impatient, just based on feel, he will start the clock and eventually wave them off. But yeah, the time limit strictly applies to once you want to engage the driverless system and actually send it on its way, so that the car doesn't gather too much information and dust on the starting line.
Yeah, and it's also interesting to see the difference between preparation time. Some teams just push it to the start line, maybe press one button and back off. and the car is ready to go. Other teams have to do a lot more things. Like I saw people pumping brakes and pushing 300 buttons and doing a ritual dance around the car. So that's quite a big difference in starting procedure. That's interesting, actually.
Yeah, indeed. Human-machine interface is always a thing. The pumping, of course, is for the emergency brake system. All of these cars have a pneumatic system that can push the actual brake pedal that the driver would also be engaging. One of the many safety systems, and yeah, that's not always airtight across all teams. I think the clock has definitely started running now. It looks like Christian is just trying to dig it out of his shirts.
Yeah, just to be clear, he was not feeling himself. He was just trying to find his earpieces, and the clock is running. I think he has a fellow official who is taking over his job while he's otherwise engaged.
Yeah, also timekeeping is not showing us the transponder, so I hope that is all working fine. Stuttgart causing a bit of a break here in the flow.
Yeah, we have the ready to drive beep from Stuttgart, and off it goes. Pretty much straight, couple of corrections left and right. But yeah, I think it's a valid run. Yeah, well done, Stuttgart. I don't see the actual time from our screen yet here, but I'm going to look it up for you guys online.
No, join them. Or you have to meet them on the other side.
Yeah, so Stuttgart did a 5.37. It's far away from Zurich yet, but they do have another try. And there's already a couple of points in the bag for the competition. And every point counts in these cases. And the next car up is the car number 95 from Chalmers. All the way here from Sweden. Well, between the commentators, we agreed to do well, a couple of accents maybe from the teams, but yeah, my Swedish is really bad, so I'm not going to do that today. Anyway, really nice looking car. We've seen them a couple of times here over the last years. Almost, I think they've been here quite a regular visitors as competitors. Yeah, always a really nice looking car. Also, I could see the team members just making the last preparations before they can actually initiate the starting procedure. As always, surrounded by the officials who have a careful look at what's going on, and also we're just waiting for the previous team from Stuttgart to clear the track. It takes a little bit of time to clear the track because it's being pushed. Cars are not allowed to drive on their own past the exit zone. So as soon as the car has cleared the straight around the turn, then Chalmers will get the go-ahead. I think we have also our timekeeping back up again, so we will see the times for you live and don't have to look it up online. Yeah, so Chalmers has been given the green light. Whoa, that's a pretty impressive launch. Very straight. Couple of bumps hitting the floor. Let's see if they can manage to... Yeah, solid blue. That's a successful run. Well done, guys from Sweden, Chalmers. And the time from Chalmers is pretty impressive as well. It's at 3.55. That's pretty good. Or still 3/10 away from Zurich, but very good run indeed, very impressive. And 3/10 is still a lot of points in the bag for Chalmers, and maybe they can do a couple of setup changes, or maybe turn up the maximum power and have a go at the quickest time. But to be honest, Zurich has put in a very good time. It's going to be very difficult to beat. But the morning is still young. We have a lot of time left. So, and also we know that our teams that are really quite quick in this acceleration. Next up, Dresden. Historically, also one of the teams that can impress on the acceleration. So we'll have to see whether they can have a crack at the 3.23 from Zurich.
Morning.
Yeah, and just had a little chat with Christian Amersbach while we're looking at the TU Dresden car. Team is preparing it. It's nice to see the cooperation between the competitions worldwide. For example, one of the officials standing around the car, Nick, and he's actually from the competition of FSAE in Michigan in the United States. And they are planning to do a driverless competition next year as well. So they're here to learn, which is actually really great because cross-learning is very important. Unfortunately, Dresden just went off track. The safety official had to press the emergency button. Doesn't look like there's any damage to equipment or car. It's just on the grass. Well, better luck next one. But anyway, just to continue with my story, these competitions, they learn from each other. And I think FSA Michigan is earlier in the year. I think it's in around May. So in May 2026, there should be a driverless competition in Michigan as well. And that is really great because the US teams, they also want to have a crack at it. Okay, thanks. I had a small correction from Christian. The driverless competition will be in June because they have two competitions. In fact, one for combustion and one for electric, which is also smart logistically. And yeah, so that's going to be next year. Two competitions definitely in Michigan, electric, and also maybe a couple of weeks or maybe even a month apart. But it's cool. Well, I've been to a couple of competitions in the past, and it's always nice to see how the American teams and the South American teams that frequently visit those competitions, how they always prepare for those competitions with a lot of enthusiasm, and yeah, that's really nice to see. So if you ever have the chance to go there and visit one of the competitions, please do. It's quite fun.
Yeah, I heard you talking about the American teams there a minute ago. I had a lovely conversation with the guys from Washington a couple of days ago. And they were telling me how different this feels to the FSAE competitions. This is a lot more paperwork, they were saying. Go figure, welcome to Germany.
Welcome to Europe, but especially welcome to Germany, where the paperwork bureaucracy is king. Yeah, it's a lot more. I know that also because we visited FSA Michigan in 2008. Yeah, a long time ago. But anyway, it was less preparing. Of course, the overseas travel made it a bit more difficult with all the shipping and getting the car there, of course. But in the end, the competition itself, a lot less paperwork than in Germany. But we know how the Germans are. They like to have things organized, paperwork in order. You know, for many reasons. Also for like insurance reasons. And let's not forget, having this track for yourself also means a lot of responsibility for safety and making sure that everything is properly organized. We see so many people doing this, like also the security guys, 24/7 on site, making sure everything goes well.
This is not looking good for car 92. Immediately after the start line, going left, just barely missing the initial speed measurement timing beam, the third of the, not crossing the beam.
Almost. Yeah, the whole "don't cross the beam" meme is back. I mean, if you want to have the timekeepers excited in the wrong way, then you should cross the beams. The thing is, it will trigger the systems, right, to timekeeping, and then the system will be thinking, okay, there's a car on the track, I have to do my stuff, and these guys have to manually stop it, manually correct it, and take the values out of the system, and so on. So it's a lot of hassle for them. So just to remind everybody, do not cross the beams, do not piss off the timekeepers. They are the gods of your points. Don't forget that. They can manipulate data, so let's not tick them off.
Let's not play with fire. No, as many computers and software are involved in this, it is also a pretty manual process. And yeah, events like walking through a barrier when it's not an actual car. Somebody should really make a detection for that, I feel like. In the age of AI, I think that should be possible.
I was just about to say something with AI. Is this, a team member or a car? It should be. I mean, it should be easy to program somehow. Well, I mean that's talking like a non-professional, obviously.
Also, wouldn't have worked yesterday for the Crazy 20 either. Some human participants. But yeah, 92 coming back a lot quicker than they would have hoped to. But I think, second run is always an option. And the queue is still pretty full. We have a couple of cars already coming back. I think that's Munich Motorsport and Tallinn already in the second run queue. And next up we have Ulm, recognizable by their massive front wing turning vanes. The car number behind, I can't see. One of the most recognizable things to me about the Aachen car that is off right now. Across the finish line. Still flashing, and that's solid blue. Valid run. Still no time showing. I think both the transponder and our little timing screen here are having a bit of a Monday on a Friday morning. 3.97, sub 4 seconds, just like we wanted.
Yeah, already we have a couple of pretty impressive runs. We have a 3.97 from Aachen. We had a 3.55 from Chalmers, a 5.37 from Stuttgart, and a 5. Obviously, I'm messing it up. Just looking at the wrong times. Anyway, a 3.55 from Chalmers. Stuttgart wasn't that quick, and then we had the Zurich car with the 3.23. So already a couple of sub 4 second times, which is already quite impressive. And we still have a couple of quick ones left to go.
Yeah, based on what I saw from Ulm at the Crazy 20 yesterday, I would also expect this run to be quite spicy. In a good way, not in a cone-killing way. after that, we will see Milano. They are next up in the first run queue. And I believe behind that is Karlsruhe. They didn't show up, motherfuckers.
Who?
The gang. It's
What?
just,
No.
oh, we're in the supermarket.
What?
That beep was not from the Ulm car. Again, our golf cart driver here having some skill issues. Ulm is ready to go. The stopwatch is running in the hand of the official. And I think we're just waiting for, was it Sevilla? To clear the track at the very end into turn 1 of the Hockenheimring. That beep is from Ulm. Sorry, it was Aachen. Never mind. Ulm is off. And almost off track, actually. Coming very close to the left-hand cones. Across the finish line. Solid blue light. 4.32 I just saw flashing across the screen. So a decent time from them. And a valid run, nevertheless. That's great.
Yeah, well done. I saw a little bit of deviation to the left side, but the car, the brains controlled it perfectly. 4.32 I saw on the timing screen. So well done for the other kit car, right?
I guess, yeah. Yeah, the guy with the mullet was keeping it cool. I think I would have chickened out and aborted that run. Maybe this is something they would expect. Maybe they're only following one line of cones or something like that. But next up, we have Milano pushing to the start line. And indeed, in the queue, I think that is not Karlsruhe. Next, car number 24. We have the Uni Leiria. I'm very sorry for that one. We have Schweinfurt, we have the other Stuttgart from DHBW, we have Trondheim, we have what I think is Barcelona based on their color scheme. No, Prague, never mind. And Delft is the last one in the first driver queue. The second driver queue is also filling up. Munich Motorsport, Tallinn, Lisbon and Sevilla.
Yeah, so we're almost 1 hour into this competition. We've already seen pretty impressive times. The queue is, well, semi-full, let's say. That means that we still have some teams that we are expecting. Maybe some teams are electing to do the skid pad first and then come back for the acceleration.
Could very well be, but nevertheless, I do have to congratulate the teams. This is we've never had a dull moment in terms of no cars being available to be pushed to the start line. So this is great. Much less nail biting towards the end than other accelerations in previous years that we've seen.
Well, I do expect to see some nail biting towards the end anyway, but I think it has to do with the parallel skid pad as well, because now teams have to make sure to get points to do both runs, both events before noon, and make sure that they have completed all their runs between that. So yeah, it's just smart to be here on time. And like we said earlier, the track is getting warmer, but I think for the driverless acceleration doesn't matter that much maybe. To be honest, my strategy would be also to do the acceleration first and then go to the skid pad where grip and rubbering in the track matters a bit more for the times in the end.
Yeah, for the time, this was a bit of a cautious start, but then a very vigorous finish, 4.18. I think they could gain a lot more time close to the starting line, but a solid blue light means a valid run.
Yeah, definitely. If they can get the launch sorted, it should be below 4 seconds time easily, because I really do think, and we've seen this a lot in the years, we have some experience with this, I'll say a lot of experience with this, and that start is so important to get off the line, and that can make or kill your acceleration run. And it was a 4:18. This could easily be a 3:7 or 3:8 if they get the launch right.
You make or break your run in the first 15 meters, basically, right off the line, and from there forwards, it's all written on paper already what's going to happen, unless you start collecting cones. Mickey, how do you pronounce the university name of this car number 24?
University Leira. I would say
there's a second I after the R. I'm really sorry. I'm going to ask one of the team members.
Well, maybe you should ask one of the team members in a couple of minutes. Yeah, maybe the driver doesn't have a lot to do anyway. Yeah.
Okay, I've been informed it is indeed Leiria. I think this is very much the first time that we see this team here at FSG. I think I would have remembered this from the previous time, struggling just as much as we did earlier.
No, I think we've seen them here before, so it just didn't bother to get the pronunciation correct. But we're getting better at our jobs as well, so we're trying to be a bit more taking care of the pronunciations of the team. But some of them are going to be really tricky. I know there's a team from Taiwan. That one will be interesting to pronounce as well.
Yeah, but they've also been here, I think 3 years ago it was. I don't think we struggled back then. I don't remember the university name specifically, but I do remember talking to them. A really hospitable team, very nice to interact with. So I think I will only be seeing them in the manual side of the competition. But nevertheless, yeah, always good to see teams from far away. We already talked about the logistics of that. How complicated it is to ship everything here in a safe way. And hopefully also in a safe way. Later I will make it across the finish line. They set off a little bit carefully, and just like the run before, very close to the left line of cones. Then towards the end ends up in the middle of the track again. Bit of a hesitation in the finish zone now to disengage, but a solid blue light and a great cheer from the team members here. This was a tense couple of seconds.
Yeah, and the time was 10.9, so the time won't matter that much, but I think just having completed a successful run the first try, I think that's what they're cheering about, and you can see how happy these guys are to have that in the pocket. So well done by the University of Leiria.
Yeah, just as previously, the driverless scoring is very much about being on the board in the first place. It does get mixed in with the manual times, etc. It's very hard to gauge the points as the event goes on. That's only really doable all the way at the end, especially when it comes to penalties from cones, etc. But yeah, really just showing up here, even if it's just one run, being on the board already nets you a significant amount of points in the driverless events.
Yeah, exactly. To finish first, you first have to finish, we always say. And a lot of teams, of course, they already know they're not going to win the competition per se, or the chances are really small. But just being here, completing all the events, or getting even through scrutineering, right, is a challenge. Getting through scrutineering, which is quite a strict scrutineering here in Germany as well. Not
especially
just the paperwork.
With driverless, yeah, that's extra steps you need to take.
Electric, and then on top of that, the driverless version is really well inspected and well scrutinized here in Germany. Yeah. Rightly so, let's say that. And yeah, just getting all through that and having your first autonomous run on the acceleration is already a victory for a lot of teams. So yeah, but we shouldn't underestimate how much work goes into that. Just to have that 10-second run, and you've been preparing that for 9 months, right? So
in some cases even longer. Of course, we won't be seeing them here, but we have the historic class at FSG this year, where cars older than 5 years are allowed to participate as well. And I think in that context, we calculated about 10 to 15 hours per minute of track runtime, which goes to show, even for the cars that supposedly are a bit more reliable, it's a really big push. Now we have Schweinfurt on the starting line, as Leria is clearing away into turn 1. We talked a little bit about logistics of getting here, but I'm also just realizing the skid pad opening and the acceleration opening are on exact opposite ends of this paddock here. Very quick run, collecting I think about 4 or 5 cones in the finish area, which of course count the same. But if my eyes don't deceive me, that's a solid blue light. So still a valid run. Time is not going to be great, especially with the penalty cones, but they made it across the finish line.
Yeah, and well, the safety official or the safety member of the team not pressing that button when the car went a bit sideways takes a lot of, well, let's say, ambition and courage, because it didn't go towards the wall side of the track. So yeah, I mean, maybe a couple of tenths later and he would have pressed the button for sure.
Yeah, they did make it across the finish line. I think I would have made exactly the same call, just hope that it works. You have a time on the board, and it did roll through the big finishing cone, so it should be detecting.
Yeah, it went back on track, right? So that's usually what you see is once the car goes off track, then it just goes haywire, doesn't see the track anymore. But this car actually went back, corrected itself. Maybe it was just a correction that went a little bit too late. But anyway, also here, points on the board. Of course, a lot of penalties for the cones, but still doesn't matter. Still a successful first run.
Yeah, one of the driverless challenges is always the delay in the timeline. That's why we keep talking about corrections and how overcorrected and undercorrected it is. The car always needs to detect what is going on, then move the steering, and then check if it did the right thing. And yeah, in a relatively narrow straight line like this, that can be pretty tough, even as a human driver sometimes.
So Jonas, what we do see on the wing of the Stuttgart car?
Ja, unterschätzt das mal nicht. I think that's a hint to that every Formula student member should heed. It means, yeah, don't underestimate that. DHBW Stuttgart, I think, definitely learned something about how hard it can be to make it to a driving car standing here on the tarmac of FSG. It is an amazing amount of work to get here. In a short time, every year, building a new car, getting it ready to drive, getting it reliable enough to be able to show up here, getting it through scrutineering. I fully subscribe to that rear-wing quote.
Yeah, to be honest, I used to be impressed by the simple 4-cylinder combustion cars with a space frame. I already was impressed by that. And then we got the electric cars. I was even more impressed. Then we had the whole aero packages with electric. So my impression went up and up and up. And now with all the autonomous and software and algorithms and
all the complexities,
yeah, it's just so complex and takes so much time for these people to do. It's really, really impressive.
We're off with DHBW. Relatively cautious start. I think they're definitely going for just a banker lap approach. Solid blue, 7.21. Definitely not the fastest time of the day, but like I said, the gaps in the times don't matter as much as the position on the board.
I think this was the example of a solid run. Like
absolutely.
This is if there would be a school book of solid runs, then this would be on the first page. Yeah,
get it on the board.
Yeah, there you go.
Maybe push all the way across the paddock to the skid pads, get some points there, and then come back. And yeah, then you might encounter exactly what's happening now in the queue. The second run queue has exceeded the length of the first run queue. We have Prague, Delft, and behind them a hard-to-read car number that I can't see.
Yeah, I'll just take a look and then give you. So yeah, we have car number 42. You got that one already. US Munich for the second run. Yeah, we have Delft. We have Tallinn also in the second run. And just behind them we have Augsburg, the one that you couldn't make out,
Augsburg,
110. We have Lisbon also in the second run queue. And just behind them, Sevilla. We saw them go off track within the first 10 meters earlier on. They're back for the second try. And just behind them is also Leuven, who already have a successful first run, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, and just to maybe state the obvious, of course the first run queue will get preference. The idea is that you always have the chance to get a time on the board, no matter how many second run cars want to improve their time. I think that's a very fair system. And having their first run of the day lined up on the starting line now is Trondheim car number 63. Still waiting a little bit for the track to be cleared. They are not the fastest pushers. The previous car, the golf cart, is already back.
Yeah, but remember, there's a rule. There's no running allowed, right?
There is no running allowed.
And,
yeah.
secretly, I'm thinking that these pushers are being used to recharge the system somehow. So one of the wise guys of the control mechanisms said, okay, let's put it on recharge. Then let's have the guys have a workout and recharge the batteries a little bit. I'm suspecting this.
You do see a big spread in how hard it is to push various cars. Even the same car at different times of the day can be either super light when all the grease and oil in the drivetrain is nice and warm and slippery, versus now when it's actually pretty chilly. I should have probably put on some long pants instead of the short ones. Here we have a lot of cloud cover, which I really like. Usually the acceleration here is roasting right from the start on the tarmac here of the Hockenheim start-finish straight.
Yeah, we're used to having 30 plus degrees by now. Asphalt being 50 plus degrees. And the commentators being well done by the end of the acceleration.
Speaking of well done, that's a 3.42 for Trondheim. We're getting there. I think that's the third fastest time of the day, if I'm not mistaken. Small round of applause, very well deserved.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, still, of course, the time from Zurich is still the best, but this is very, very close indeed. And I think they're even second, if I'm not mistaken. So we have a 3:23 from Zurich, and apart from that,
the next one was
3:55 from Chalmers, and so 3:42 from Trondheim. So the Scandinavians are here with a vengeance.
Are really turning it up. Let's see if Prague can do anything about it. They are always recognizable by their two-faced cars. One side is red, one side is blue.
Yeah, very confusing. It's just how you look at it, right?
It's always a thing that we talk about. Make it as easy for us to read your university name, and you have a better chance of us saying the right thing when your car comes by. And yeah, the paint job makes you more recognizable as well. And then, yeah, when the car looks different from two sides, that might look really cool. It is harder to recognize, though.
Yeah, on one side, I can imagine it, but on the other side, it's confusing. Yeah, and we just had a look in the queues, the two queues, the first run and second run queues. And yeah, I think normally it's the first queue has preference above the second run queue. But I think now, as long as we have a lot of time until the end, they will just mix it. And that usually towards the end, they will let the first run queue go first, like all the time. But now they will just mix it up, maybe do one or two from the first run queue, and then add in some cars from the second run queue. So as long as there's time, which we still have, well, more than 2 hours, that shouldn't be a problem. But towards the end, it's going to be an issue. So
it is going to be tight, I think. We're seeing our predictions come pretty true. I think we're sticking to roughly plus or minus 5 minutes per car, per run. That's a very peculiar ready-to-drive sound. Prague even opening the DRS. 3.69. 42 seems to be the answer to Life, the Universe, and Everything.
Yeah, that's pretty good. So we see already four or five cars below the 4-second threshold. Really impressive. And still, we have a couple of mean competitors ready to go. One of them is just being prepared to be pushed to the line, which is Delft. Yeah, we'll just have to wait until the previous car is cleared. And then we'll see another run.
Okay, as Delft is pushing to the start line, we have a couple more cars, I think, joining us in the second run queue. I now also see Green Team returning just behind Leuven. So yeah, I think we'll have a full running program for at least the next hour or so until this the cars in the queue now will make it all the way through. I'm just overhearing conversations in the spectator stands. Why aren't we going yet? Maybe we can circle back to that a little bit. It's always a hassle. We've seen teams try to line up the car as straight as possible. We have to prime the pneumatic safety system inside of the car. You have to, in some cases, make sure that the settings are applied correctly. I see the Delft steering wheel actually being slightly crooked now that I look at it. Not sure if that's the way it's meant to be. But everybody has retreated from the car and is ready to go.
Yeah, and let's not forget, the track has to be clear all the way on the straight.
Exactly.
And there it's off.
Small wiggles.
Wiggle,
oscillating.
wiggle, a couple of wiggles. Yeah, babe.
6.1. Not the definition of a solid run, but definitely a time on the board with a solid blue light at the end. So that was a run.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, they. It's pretty good actually, and I think the team members are quite happy with that. So probably going to do some tweaks on the car, but already points in the bag. That's what counts, right? So.
And it looks like the officials are really sticking to the first run queue priority here. I think UAS Munich has been sitting there for nigh on 45 minutes now. Next up is Augsburg for their first run of the day. If I recall correctly, they were one of the early founders in terms of team participation in the Driverless Cup. We've always seen impressive performances from them, so I have high expectations for this run as well.
Yeah, and they have also some writing on their wings, right? Schwer und unzuverlässig.
Yeah.
You'll have to explain that to us.
So that translates particularly poorly, because if you read outside of the brackets, then it says heavily unreliable. And if you read with inside the brackets, then it says heavy and reliable.
So they haven't made up their minds yet. Maybe this competition will decide whether the brackets stay or not.
Yeah, if I was the timekeeping guys and the red shirts here, I would keep my fingers crossed. They seem to be pretty unsure about how this is going to go down.
I see a couple of prayers and a couple of crosses from the team members, then they will know enough.
Yeah, we briefly talked about the composure of the team members. Delft seemed a little bit anxious. Tallinn was just Scandinavian or Baltic rather coolness. Augsburg, little excitement, I would say, a little bit wanting to get going as Delft clears at the very end of the track. Like you mentioned, it has to be all clear.
Yeah, exactly. And I see team members probably taking some videos of the car, even multiple team members. I think all three of them actually. So they want probably if it completes the run, they want to have the video that it actually went well.
I mean, this is the moment you've been working towards all year. This is the event where you want to do your best. I forgot to take videos back in the day, and I deeply regret it when our car was out on track. This is worth remembering.
Yeah, but to be honest, I think the videographers from FS Germany, we have a whole army of people walking around with cameras with huge lenses. I think
photographers, videographers,
yeah, exactly,
editors, all those things, and us,
and drones, and I even had someone mention a drone with thermal imaging. I mean, that's next level stuff. So if you want to find your photograph, take a look at the website of FS Germany. There are a lot of pictures. I would be very surprised if your team is not on there.
Yeah, indeed. media.formulastudent.de is where you can find that. It's very well sorted by year, by day. You can search by car number. In some cases, you have other tags attached to the picture. But looking towards the start line, it's not looking so good for Augsburg. I think they're going to push back.
So it's unzuverlässig at the moment.
Yeah, they really read outside the brackets on that one. I think they also pushed through the timing beam, so the time just got started, but the timekeeping guys are on it. Next up, we'll have Porto, one of the few driverless cars without aero. That's quite interesting to focus on the driverless system as compared to a full aero package. Thinking about it though, I think that's a smart move. I think it's a lot more important to have a reliable car than a fancy looking one. I'm very curious how this goes. Of course, the aerodynamics, unless you go for the super fastest time on driverless acceleration, probably don't do all that much. They do provide a little more surface area to potentially attach sensors to. Here with Porto, you see the big silver cylinder above the driver's head. That's the LiDAR that's hopefully going to find all the cones.
Yeah, and let's not forget, we've seen teams that have 80 team members, like really a lot. But some teams are also a lot smaller, right? Sometimes maybe 8 to 10 people, which is well, very impressive if you get it's insane. How you build a car with such a small team. Let's remember also they have to make sure that they get sponsoring. They have all the equipment, all the machines, all the manufacturing, everything.
Money.
Exactly. There you go. And so doing that with a small team, I'm not sure. I don't know the Porto team, whether it's a big team or not. But still, it's very impressive to see small teams coming here with a car that's actually properly finished and decent. Maybe not as fancy with aerodynamics and the whole gimmicks of other teams, but still, that's equally impressive, or if not even more impressive than the big teams.
Absolutely, especially when you also keep in mind we talk a lot about the dynamics, but yesterday especially the statics were going on. That also takes a whole day. So along with the insane amount of time you spend in scrutineering, you have to contend with the statics. That's 3 events just by itself. That has to be prepared, presented. It's a lot of work, this Formula Student business. Taking their time to set up. The track is clear. Team members are retreating. I'm really curious for this one. It's really refreshing to see a driverless car without aero, except for the side wings, of course.
Yeah, and the under tray. I do see some diffusers. Oh,
that's not looking good. It was veering off to the left to right for the timing beam.
It was aiming towards the timing beacon. I think they had the search and destroy mode still on.
Yeah, you would expect, just guessing, spitballing here, that going straight. If that goes wrong right from the beginning, then the car probably hasn't acquired any of the cones. So it was a good idea for the team member to abort that run. Not sure what I would do in this situation. We do see a lot of cars in Park Fermi right behind us. Of course, those are the post-scrutiny checks after a run. The second run queue is getting pretty full, though. I think we're almost all the way to the back of the cone markers that actually outline the queue.
Yeah, I think we have at least 8 cars, maybe even 9.
I think the 9th one, Ulm, just joined.
Yeah, exactly.
And 9 times 5 is quite some time.
It's, let me do some math, 45 minutes, right?
Absolutely. So yeah, I think plus minus 5 minutes, I think at least for the next hour, we're going to be busy here.
Yeah, which is still plenty of time, right? Until 12 o'clock. So,
yeah.
But it's okay, because that means that we have some stuff to talk about with you guys, and just give you some information about the teams and what's going on track, and also have some side hustles in between. Then we can tell stuff from our experience, and some history lessons even. From all those years of experience that we've been here as commentators or as team members.
Yeah, stories from back in the good old days.
When everything was better.
When everything.
Of course,
everything. The cars were so much better.
Yeah,
speaking of cars, Barcelona is, I think, pushing up into the first driver queue. Munich is finally pushing towards the start line for their second run. They've been waiting there for ages.
That's a 10 for patience,
and
definitely.
Tallinn right behind them, I think, might have to wait for Barcelona to do their first run. I did see some teams come to the queue slightly underprepared, so maybe we will see them. Barcelona not immediately pushing towards the front. Maybe they still have to pump something up.
Yeah, and if you look at the level of detail, eye for detail, you can even see some cars having the tire blankets on. Why do they do that? Just to keep the tires clean, right?
To me, it's a religious question. You might want to keep your tires clean, indeed. You could also argue that maybe you avoid punctures by random debris in the paddock. I always found it way too much of a hassle to deal with putting it off before a run, putting it back on. Our system, at least, never worked particularly well. Munich is off again. Very vigorous start, couple of cones, and they're killing it about halfway through. That's a bummer. I think they had a solid time to start with. And yeah, they tried and couldn't improve on that. Clock is still running, but of course the run is aborted.
Yeah, speaking about tires, I know that some drivers they fell in love with the tires, so they did everything they could to protect the tires. Some of them even talk to tires, like be gentle and preserve the tires, because these are my best friends, and I just love these tires. And so some drivers were actually quite fanatic about preserving them.
Yeah, I do understand it. It's the only thing keeping you on the road. And yeah, sometimes they, with their bare hands, were cleaning dust and little stones off of them. Some people spend insane amount of time with a tire marker, just giving it that little extra sharp white markings or other colors.
I think we can safely say that some drivers spend more time with their tires than with their girlfriends. And yeah, that happens. That's how it goes.
Maybe the girlfriends got a bit tired of that.
Yeah. Yeah, it puts a lot of pressure on the relationship. I can imagine. Yeah, but to be honest, of course, we don't talk about tires a lot on this event, right? But because, of course, everything has to do with software, algorithm, launch control is so important. Just keeping the car on track. But later on, when we have the events like the autocross, tire management or getting the tire up to temperature, having the right pressure on the tire, all the right setup for a tire is really, really important. And also, a lot of the judges, especially the dynamic judges, they say the first thing you have to consider is your tires. Know your tires, know everything about it. If you don't do that, you just won't have a quick car. And I think that's the same in all the race cars, right?
Absolutely.
Tire management, knowing your tire, all the tire models. You just look at Formula One, how
meticulous.
Exactly, how the level of detail of knowing your tires and management of the tires so important for race cars. And which actually makes sense because it's the only contact with the surface, right? So
exactly, it's the only thing that should be touching the ground. But yeah, unless something goes wrong, which I think it has for Tallinn as well. I see blue flashing. I'm not sure if this counts as their second run. I don't think that they were trying to engage autonomous yet. So I would hazard a guess that they could push towards the back of the second run queue.
I think I saw Christian deliberately triggering the timing beacon. So
that's usually a bad sign.
Yeah, usually that means that's an aborted run for them. So that's what Christian does. So make sure the system knows that there was a sort of a run that didn't get made. Exactly. Yeah. So that's usually, he only does that if he doesn't do that by accident. He's well trained. So he does that by on purpose.
Yeah, this is a particularly big bummer for Tallinn. I think they spent a long time waiting behind Munich in the front of the second run queue here. I hope they can make it to all the other disciplines that they want to, in terms of especially manual skid pad, in time. Like I mentioned, I think it's about a solid 20-minute walk with a car from the exit of the acceleration dynamic area to get to the skid pad queue. You never fully realize until you do it how long it takes to move the car around this paddock. It's very snaky. There is never a direct path for the cars, especially. So it can take an absolute age to get from A to B, especially if you then also have to go to post-scrutineering, which I would expect is happening here behind us for this event, but probably also for the skid pad.
Yeah, and also talk about post-scrutineering, right? There are a couple of rules that it's being checked by the scrutineers, and if you don't pass them, you can get either penalty points or even just being disqualified from this event.
The distinction is usually made by whether it's a safety critical issue. So, for example, ground clearance not being high enough is one of the safety issues. If you have, it's not so common in the acceleration, I would say, but any leaking fluids are usually very heavily penalized, usually with a safety critical DQ. Aero exclusion is another thing that I saw them measuring. The wings are supposed to be in very specific positions, very specific distances from certain parts of the car, like the tires, and that's can be quite tricky to keep true to the rules in that case, and it does get measured not in scrutineering. This is considered one of the things that teams have to just make sure they're legal with, but yeah, it does get checked. Also checking whether they should kill it or not. There's a lot of swerving, but a good time, 4.79. They made it to the end zone. Can you see if the light is blue or not? I guess based on the applause I hear from the spectators, this was a valid run.
And actually quite impressive, because they almost doubled the length of the acceleration by all the swerving.
That was a nail biter.
Yeah, so that's actually quite impressive. And
only one cone hit as well.
Yeah, and to be honest, the nerves of the safety official, I gotta give it to him, because he has balls of steel.
I did see him flinch. He was definitely looking, should I not? So yeah, this is one of the most exciting runs of the day. I think I would have called it at a certain point, but yeah, maybe the pressure of the length of the second run queue was making them do this. Good job, Barcelona. We were just having a quick conversation with some of the spectators. We always like to receive compliments, but maybe this is also a good time to remind the teams, especially, about receiving input from them. You might have seen that in some of the team briefings. I would expect a QR code to the commentary form. This is especially going to be used during the endurance on Sunday. We are still, I think, a couple of teams short. I think we had 50-something submissions already, but more the merrier. If you fill that form out, we have something to talk about while the endurance is ongoing. You can input info about your drivers, your team, specific struggles that you had this year, and we have input to talk about. Of course, the better your story, the more likely it is we will actually read it out. So fill it out with some effort.
Yeah, and just to remind you, if you don't do it, then probably we will make things up. And we are quite creative with our stories. Yeah. So yeah, you don't want that, because then we're going to make things up that are actually really not true. Just to have a talk and keep people informed. And we don't really care if it's true or not. So yeah, just fill it out for us. We'll be happy. You'll be happy. Everybody. It's a win-win situation, right?
Yeah. Anything we say can't be used against us. Just as I said before, any times or validity of runs or cone counts, for that matter, is completely made up. We of course try and keep it as close to reality as we can, but you never know. Things might happen in places that we can't see cone counts or post-scrutineering issues. So we're trying to keep you informed as good as we can, but we can only do so much from here.
Yeah, of course. And if you want to know something, and you can, we usually stand quite close to the spectators, and you can always approach us to have, if you have some need for information or some extra information for us to tell everybody. We are in very good contact with the officials, so every now and then they come up to us to give us a bit of more information, just like Christian did earlier this morning. And we can actually have easy access to them as well. So we have VIP passes, so we can go everywhere and ask officials what's going on and get some more information for you guys. So yeah, that's actually quite a nice position to be in, right, Jonas? We can just go everywhere and talk to anybody.
I have to think back to the last two endurances. I think 2 years ago the final five was an epic battle, and last year as well, the final five in the rain, changing tires in the driver change. That kind of stuff is why you watch this. I mean, still, it was endurance. I wouldn't expect anything quite that exciting during the acceleration, and then Barcelona comes along and does a wiggly finish. So no, it's always good to watch these events, keep an eye out on what's happening. Of course, now I would expect people to watch in split screen mode. Matti and Igor are going to be talking about the manual skid pad on the other side, but that's why we have 4 commentators.
Yeah, it's a luxury that we can do the simultaneous events with 2 commentators. And to be honest, of course we could do it with two commentators, right? But having a duo and having actually having a conversation and about certain topics makes our lives a lot easier and a lot more fun, to be honest, because every now and then we can crack a joke and the other one can't hold their laugh. But it's okay, and then we can also just talk the whole event through. And yeah, so if you look at the queue, I don't see a lot more cars coming into the queue. So we have, let me count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cars. Yeah, 6 cars in the queue, and all of them in the second run queue.
Yeah, I didn't see any new cars join the queue since our last time estimation. So I still think we're about 40 minutes-ish away. Sevilla is taking their sweet time at the starting line, I do have to say. I hope the clock isn't running yet, but they might be either going to the back of the queue or pushing out. Of course, their first run wasn't valid either. They veered off to the left pretty much immediately, and it looks like they still haven't fixed that issue to their satisfaction. Yeah, we saw a little hesitation there. That was a show of the EBS system being engaged. That's what the red buttons on the front of the car are for, disengaging the pneumatic valves to be able to move the car. Next up, Leuven is coming back for their second run of the day, pushing up to the line. After that, we will see Stuttgart. Behind that, I see Aachen, then Ulm, then two more cars that I can't quite make out.
Well, you ask, I provide, Jonas. I'm just going to walk through the queue. We have, of course, Green Team Stuttgart. Just behind them, car number 99 from Aachen. You spotted Ulm already. We have Deggendorf, just behind them. And the last one in the queue is Augsburg. And also talking about the queue, Jonas, of course we don't know how many teams are doing the skid pad now first and then coming back to the acceleration. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get a wave of cars coming to do the acceleration as well later on. Yeah. But we'll just have to see what's going on. And also the skid pad can be also quite long because it's a very dynamic event, right? It's a manual skid pad, so it's with driver. And as we all know, drivers can overdrive cars, they can destroy the track.
They can collect a lot of cones.
They can collect a lot of cones. They can even destroy timekeeping equipment if they aim correctly. So yeah, it can take quite a while to finish the skid pad event as well.
And that's not good news for Leuven. They immediately aborted their run after about, 10 meters or so. The blue flashing being particularly bad news. It's a bit hard to tell whether this was aborted from the car itself or from the team members. Both is possible.
Yeah, it doesn't look the car was going off track, so there wouldn't be a reason for the safety official to press the panic button, right? So
no, not at all.
I would be inclined, pure speculatively, we don't have that information, obviously official, but that the car saw something or noticed something and said, "Whoa, I'm going to brake."
In a way, this is good news for the teams waiting. Of course, if the teams don't have to go all the way to the back of the track to retrieve the car, the queue moves a little bit faster. Now Stuttgart is pushing up to the line, and yeah, just going back to the logistics, because I think that's the thing, the least predictable here is the time you spend in post-scrutineering. Barcelona is only now still getting checked, so it is quite an unpredictable part of the equation, pushing from one dynamic area to the other, getting set, unknown queue times. And I've seen some teams over the past few years trying to estimate this with multiple team members across the track, gathering information on the pace of the queue and everything else, just to direct the car to the right place at the right time. That's the crucial part here.
That's another sign of a well-prepared team, spotters. I remember back in the day we even had spotters for weather, for rain. So actually we had a large team, so we had like 60 people and we had 10 people doing, well, not much or nothing. And then we sent, okay, it's UK, so it can rain. So we sent them out with a car, a 5-minute drive in different directions to see whether it was raining or not. I mean, that's next level stuff. I know it was a bit over the hill, but still, that was quite fun to do actually, because then we got the reports, okay, it's raining here now, and then we could actually estimate at what time it would start raining in the UK, which is actually quite unpredictable if you look at the weather radars there. So, yeah, actually that was fun, but also that's a sign of preparation.
Preparation, and it does make you feel a little professional, doesn't it?
We just copied. Obviously, we just copied the Formula 1 teams, and it doesn't make sense. I know, but it was still it gave you some level of at least a sense of professionalism. Yeah, and it looks like Stuttgart's team had some issue with the car. Don't exactly know what happened, but they're just debating with Christian whether they get another try. they can go back to the queue, Christian? Yeah, he's nodding, so it doesn't... Okay, it's actually just a simple matter of forgetting one of the steps that they had to do for the procedure. But it doesn't count as an attempt, so they can go back to the queue and then start again next time. We have ample time until the end. We have, what, 2 hours left so in the event, so it should be no issue for them to get their second run in. Next car up to the line, it's Aachen. Really quick car. We know them for years now. Always quite impressive on the dynamics. Well-built car. Not a huge amount of aerodynamics, but really well thought of. Actually, for looking at the under tray, looks really clean. Nice wing, a couple of side wings as well. Looking at probably some DRS as well. Yeah, very nice looking car. At least it looks good, and hopefully it's also really quick on this acceleration run. Team is just making sure the car is dead straight. That's really important for a good launch. Even making sure the suspension is working correctly. Yeah, just checking everything is okay. The track is clear, so they don't have to wait for that. And they have a saying on their wings, "Bitte kein DQ." So that means, please, no disqualifications. Well, it's all up to them, obviously. If you have everything in order, then you shouldn't get a DQ anyway. But I think they have some bad experiences from previous years, so that's why they put it on their wing. And a pretty good launch off the line, really straight. Oh, that looks really good. Blinking, still blinking. Turn solid, come on, turn solid. Yeah, it's nail-biting moment. No solid, but they have some time before the light has to turn solid. As far as I can see, it's not there yet. I think the clock is going, it's 30 seconds if I remember correctly. The car has 30 seconds to show that it has completed the run by showing a solid blue. I think that the time was pretty impressive. It's well below the 4 seconds. It was a 3.4 something. So, but it has to turn solid blue before it counts. Yeah, it's unfortunate for them. It was really solid run, really quick. I think one of the top 3 even so far, but unfortunately didn't go to a solid state as required per rules. So unfortunately for them, it doesn't count as a valid run. But it was actually very impressive, very solid run. Yeah, next up is the car from Ulm, car number 44, for their second run. We're just waiting for the track to be cleared. Yeah, as always, safety is first. So that means first the track has to be cleared. At least the straight. These cars are so fast that if they don't brake or whatever, don't slow down, and they can go quite fast towards the end. I think they can reach speeds up to 100 plus, even 150 kilometers an hour towards the end. The acceleration of these cars is just incredible. I think the world record is from 0 to 100 is below 1 second, 0.9 seconds. That's the world record. We're not going to see that here today, obviously, with all the aero packages and not ideal conditions, obviously, but still the acceleration is very impressive. Talking about impressive, oh, just too bad. The start looked really good, but then in the end the car went, the Ulm car went to the left, collecting a number of cones, and I think it aborted the run just before I think the start, the finish line. Just, yeah, I think in the neighborhood of that, but it doesn't matter because the collected cones is a lot of penalties. So anyway, but anyway, there was a second run from Ulm. And just behind them, well, first the track has to be rebuilt by the marshals. Should be pretty easy. We have a lot of marshals on site here. Just behind them, here we can see the Deggendorf car number 41. And just to give you a small update about the times. So top of the list, still Zurich. It was a very early run indeed, but still hasn't been beaten yet. So the bar has been set pretty high or pretty low, the way you want to look at it. It's still a 3.23 from Zurich, followed by a 3.42 by Trondheim. Just behind them are the team from Chalmers, then CTU Prague with a 3.69. Aachen is also still below the 4-second mark, so we have 5 teams below the 4 seconds, which is pretty impressive. And just behind them we have Milano, Ulm, Schweinfurt, Barcelona and Tallinn completing the first, let's say, 10 cars. Just to remind everybody, this is still before the post-scrutineering results. That means that if you don't pass the post-scrutineering, you can still have some penalties or even disqualification. Let's hope none of the teams actually have to go through that. So let's just assume that this is actually the order of things, and they will get to keep their points. Also an interesting fact about the first 10 meters. So we have a small timing beacon after 10 meters after the start line, and that also measures what kind of time you see there. So there's an interesting thing. CTU Prague, for example, is just a bit quicker than Aachen on the end, but they were actually a bit slower than Aachen. So that means, although their launch is not as good as the Aachen car was, the acceleration after that was a lot better. So they actually managed to overtake them, well, virtually on track. So actually that's quite interesting information. And Zurich did a 0.55 for the first 10 meters. And I'm hearing a sound that I don't like to hear from the Deggendorf car, meaning that the attempt was aborted or not started. The car indicated something that was not actually right with the car. So I don't know exactly what happened, but it looks like the team is ready to push the car back and maybe try again. There's some discussion going on with Christian, the head official of the driverless acceleration. He's explaining to them what they can do, what their options are. And as always, all these officials, they do this for a hobby, but they put a lot of effort into this event. And you can always have a conversation with them rationally about what to do, what you shouldn't do. They always take time for that, even though they have a very busy schedule. They are very approachable, so that's a big plus for this organization. So next up is Augsburg, car number 110, coming up to the line for their second run. Let me check what they did on their first run. Sadly, I don't remember all the times, but that's why we have a timekeeping page. Yeah, I can see. I think the first one was a DNF from Augsburg, so this is their second and final attempt to put time on the board and get some points. As we mentioned earlier, it's more important to finish in a decent time at least and not collecting any cones. That's already a chunk of points on the board. Counting towards the end of the competition, every point matters. We've seen competitions being decided by only 1 or 2 points in the past, and every step up the ladder is an important one. So the closer you can get to the top 3 or top 10 or whatever your goal is, and then every point matters. So having a completed, successful run is so important to get the points that you need for that. So let's hope Augsburg can manage. I see the team preparing the car, but something is already afoot, meaning that I think they choose to abort the run and not going at it. Driver already inside the car, and the car is being pulled back from the start-finish line. So next car is Sevilla from Spain. I think they didn't manage to do the first run successfully.
This is the third time, if I'm not mistaken, that we're seeing them at the start line. The first run started and then aborted unsuccessfully. Second run did not count. They just pushed back, just like Augsburg now, who I think are just going to join the back of the second run queue again. Yeah, Sevilla, fingers crossed. We have Stuttgart, Leiria, and Eindhoven coming into the queue. Tense looks from the team members of Sevilla. Everybody stepping back. Looks like they're getting going. Not very straight, immediately collecting at least a couple of cones. Again veering to the left, but making it across the finish line. And then veering violently out of the finish area towards the wall. And I think the car responsible aborted that run again. So I think that's bad news for Sevilla. No points on the board from driverless acceleration.
Yeah, you can see the look on their faces. They're really disappointed. It looked good already towards the end, but yeah, as soon as the car is going towards the wall, yeah, you don't want to take any chances, right? I mean,
Yeah, this is
how unfortunate! How unfortunate for them. You do not want to take the chance of getting some points or destroying the car. I think that's an easy choice for me as a safety responsible, right?
Exactly. Yeah, there no front wing is worth it.
Yeah, or even worse, monocoque damage,
suspension breakage,
and as we all know, if something happens with the car, there's damage. Then the car has to go to the scrutineers again, and if they see some kind of structural damage or something that is really hazardous or putting the safety of the driver at risk, they will not allow you to compete. So yeah, I can totally imagine the safety official being cautious as well. So yeah, well done. Well, there are a lot more events, a lot more points to grab. So let's hope they manage to get the car going for the next events as well. And in the meantime, we have Uni Stuttgart back, car number 26.
Okay, people retreating from the car. What was their first run?
Yeah, it was a pretty close, pretty good time. Very competitive. Yeah, so only one tenth and a half away from Zurich. So yeah, this is. I hope this will be able to challenge that time from Zurich. They weren't far away. They were only 1/1400 of a second away from Zurich, so maybe they made some changes, some tweaks to close the gap. But I think we still have Zurich, well, just for the second run. But I don't see it on the queue. But they still do have a second run left as well. So we should have a nice competition between these two. They're very evenly matched, right? That's awesome to see.
Yeah, the longer teams spend on their driverless systems in terms of years of experience, the more gutsy I have the feeling they are, especially at the simpler events here, autocross, acceleration and skid pad. We're still waiting for Sevilla to clear the back of the track. All persons that aren't behind the concrete barrier should be gone before we let another car go.
Yeah, and especially expecting a pretty good drive from this car. Yeah, you should make sure everybody's clear.
We'll arrive at the end of that straight a lot faster than you expected to.
This should be interesting, yeah.
Ready to drive sound. Car responsible actually holding the remote up nice and high, not to lose connection. It was very fast, 3.68. Slight wiggle in the finish zone. But I think that's a blue light. This is very difficult to tell in this light actually from here.
Yeah, just look at the light. If it's blinking and if it starts blinking, that's the only change you can see.
That is the bad news.
Yeah, exactly. No, so it's not as fast as their first run, but still a very solid, decent run. Just confirming their setup, and a very decent car, very quick car. So still a lot of points. Only a couple of points less maybe than Zurich so far. So yeah, Zurich put the bar pretty high, as we already said this morning.
And it's such an early run as well.
Yeah,
that was really great to see.
I can imagine Zurich doing the manual skid pad now, and then coming back maybe for a second run.
Absolutely, if there is time.
Exactly.
Looking at the queue, I think we'll have a little bit of a break after Eindhoven. So we have Leiria going up to the starting line, and then in about 10 minutes we'll be out of a job for a little bit.
Which we don't mind. I mean, we do like talking, but we also enjoy an occasional break, so we can get a cup of coffee and maybe a nice little brezel with butter.
Still, I stand by my statement. This was a really great event so far. We've had absolutely no break, always full queue for the first 2 hours of the event. So I'm really happy with how this went.
Yeah, we're pleasantly surprised, because usually we come here in the first hour, hour and a half, maybe even 2 hours.
It's just nothing.
There's nothing to do. Maybe an odd team that wants to try the car because it's unreliable or whatever. But no, we had a lot of action, and we're actually quite happy with that. I think even maybe matching the action from Yegor and from Matthias on the manual skid pad. Probably it's a bit more dynamic than here, but still, it was a nice event so far to see for us.
I think I'll need your input from the timing sheet. What was the previous run from this team? Car number 24 was it 10.9. So they do have a time on the board and room to improve.
Yes, that means that they have a solid base, right? So that means that they can take a bit more risk, not a lot more risk, but a bit more risk, and it is a bit faster.
They are for sure faster.
Yes,
than Ford.
this will definitely be quicker than 10 seconds. Oh no. I think we cursed it. I think that's one of the commentary curses that we...
I'm not so sure. I think we gave them a fair run for their money. They did improve, definitely on the first 30 meters or so. And yeah, then classic driverless. A little deviation from the start line immediately leads to correction problems. Even at this speed, some of the systems just don't have the reaction time to get the car straight again. I think the lane here is what, 4 meters wide, roughly, if that. And yeah, you just got to be able to correct in time to be able to save a run like this. And yeah, once the car hits the big orange cones at the finish line, I think that's where I would call it as a safety responsible as well. Just don't take the risk of the car going towards the concrete wall. We've seen that at other competitions, and that is never pretty. I thought we would be out of a job as Eindhoven pushes out of the queue, but we have a returner. I think that's Augsburg coming back for their, I think, third attempt / second actual run.
Yeah, that's really nice of them to keep us having a job at commentating for you guys. And while Jonas is putting on some sunscreen because of the sun here behind the clouds, still a very dangerous issue here. So you have to be careful with that.
I screen, we screen, you screen,
yeah,
sunscreen.
Something like that. Anyway. We have Eindhoven and then just Augsburg, but I still, as I mentioned earlier, I still expect some teams coming back from the skid pad event, and yeah, I expect the last hour to be interesting as well. Yeah, we're just waiting for the previous car to clear the track, University of Leira, and Eindhoven just waiting for the officials to give them the green light. They look, well, pretty relaxed. Maybe a couple of little prayers left and right, but that's normal. I always do that as well. If I see one of the teams that I used to be in, just do well, don't F it up, you know. But that's usually you talk to the driver as well, sort of, and that's you're hoping the driver doesn't screw it up. And here, in this case, it's the AI on board that needs to do a good job, but just praying and hoping everything goes according procedure.
Yeah, that's solid advice. Just don't fuck it up. Very vigorous start from Eindhoven. 3.89, decent time, couple of cones in the finish.
Yeah, there was a big wiggle just before the finish line. Just actually narrowly missed the final 2 cones, and then collected a couple of cones after that. But they won't mind the extra penalty points because it was a valid run.
Yeah, it of course all the cones on track count that the car hits under its own power. Yeah, if you push one out of the way while pushing away, that's of course not a penalty, but still, yeah, 2.
It's also not, of course, so that's...
Still a decent performance, and this is not Augsburg. This is Milano coming back.
We were misled by the color scheme
Again,
from Milano.
red and black.
Yeah, red and black, but the shape is also a bit similar.
Yeah, absolutely.
Please don't hate us for confusing your cars, guys. But no, actually, I was genuinely thinking it was Augsburg, but it was Milano, car number 90.
I've also seen them before, of course.
Yeah, yeah. And of course, one of the regular visitors here, right? One of the usual suspects here at FS Germany. Yeah, they have their own competition in Italy as well, eh? So it's a bit earlier in the year than Germany, so I expect them to have attended that competition as well. So that means that they are, well, hopefully well prepared. They have some experience under their belts. And we'll see whether that holds true for this one. Yeah, just to confirm the end time of the driverless acceleration, it's 12 o'clock. So knowing these organizers here, 12 o'clock is 12 o'clock. There was a couple of years that there was some extensions, but that's usually due to something happening on track, which caused a long delay, sort of an act of God, more or less, that they would say, okay, we will extend the deadline. But in the recent years, 12 o'clock is 12 o'clock. But no matter if you're in the queue or not, the event stops at 12. Also because everybody, you know, all the volunteers, all the organizers there are humans, and humans need food, and they need a lunch break because at 1 o'clock already the next event starts. So yeah. So 12 o'clock, so it's a reminder for everybody, just be here on time if you want to do the driverless acceleration. We already know it takes roughly 5 minutes to complete it. So make sure you take that into account and be here on time. In the meantime, Milano is ready, the track is clear. Officials have they have given the team the go-ahead. Now we're just waiting for the car to do its thing. Well, the clock is ticking for the Milano team, I think. Yeah, it looks like the car didn't go. I'm not sure. Yeah, I think this counts
not
as
a happy sound.
No, unfortunately for them, this counts as a... Yeah, I see the official deliberately, again, triggering the timing beacon. So the system knows that it was a DNF or DNS even, maybe. But unfortunately, that's it for them. But we'll probably see them back on the events in the afternoon.
Yeah, now we're sort of entering the time window where it gets maybe a little bit tight if you haven't run skid pad yet to make it back from a run here back there. Like we already mentioned, we have post-scrutineering going on behind us. That can take anywhere from 30 seconds if they don't test you to many minutes for the tests, and then even more for the discussion if they do find something they're not happy with. It's all about logistics and time management, really, when you have multiple events going on at the same time.
Which we called it a pain in the behind, but it's actually a great learning experience, isn't it?
It is, just like many things in Formula Student, you gotta do it once to know how much of a pain in the behind it is to do these kind of things. That's one of the reasons why this is such a great learning moment.
Yeah, and while you're not appreciating it at the moment because you're thinking, oh, these guys are, you know, just giving us a hard time. But later on, in real life, at the job or whatever, if you encounter the same situation, you're like, wait a minute,
We've been here before.
I have a déjà vu somehow. I've had this experience before. How did I react back then? Let's not make the same mistake.
Let's not run into the same thing again, yeah. No, Formula student events I usually like to describe as type 2 fun. They're usually fun afterwards, not necessarily during. Also looking towards how the historic cup is going. It's definitely awakening a lot of memories and some mild PTSD coming back here as well.
Yeah, okay. Don't cry, Jonas, just yet.
Not yet.
Yeah.
But,
no, but it's great to see that, and also which is really a lot of fun is to see all the volunteers coming back. So I think 99% of the volunteers have been team members, so they have been on the other side. That's why this competition is so well organized, because they know from their own experience what the teams need to have a fun competition, a successful competition. So I really like the setup that after a couple of years you can come back as a volunteer in the organization here.
Of course,
really cool.
To the detriment of the teams, also the scrutineers know all the little tricks that you might want to pull as a team to get around it.
Yeah, but that's the whole cat and mouse game, isn't it? I mean, we see this in the highest level of motorsport, in the Formula 1 as well, right? I mean, teams come up with something, then the officials, the scrutineers, they find out, they have a rule change or they have another measurement going on. We see this year. We saw that with the flexi wings on a lot of cars. That's the whole game, isn't it? To find the gaps in the rules, and then for the scrutineers to close those gaps. That's the fun.
And certain things trickle in, of course. Flexi wings are also one of the tests that you would expect in a post-scrutineering session. All the aerodynamic devices have a load that they're meant to withstand with a certain deflection. It's not quite as fancy of a measurement with 3D tracking while the car is driving, but still, I think just chalking a sandbag on the front wing is easily done.
Yeah, and while we were having a little banter and going off topic maybe a little bit, I think now we have Augsburg coming back to the second run. Yeah, just to continue on the banter until Augsburg is going again. This is also this is one of the schools of Formula 1, isn't it? I mean, a lot of these guys here, they will end up they have the chance to end up in Formula 1. I know that a lot of scouts are walking around on the competitions from different Formula 1 teams or
Formula
other race
1,
classes.
Formula E,
exactly.
Le Mans, everything.
So that's really cool to see. And if you have this on your curriculum, then it's a big plus compared to all the other people that want to work for a Formula 1 team, for example.
It is one of the reasons that you might want to do this. It was definitely a good reason for me to join. You already said 99% of the officials or organization team members are ex-Formula student. But I did meet a couple of media guys actually that were not part of teams. That was an interesting discussion as well. Why would you do this to yourself if you don't know the meta behind Formula Student? But they were really interested, even never having been on the receiving end of such an event, just covering cool cars in general.
Yeah, because race car.
Pretty much, exactly. Yeah, they were photographers for other race events already, and saw this pop by. So the FSG advertising definitely doing its thing in the search of officials. Maybe this is also a good moment to talk to any interested team member that isn't actively participating in the next couple of years. There is a sign-up page. I'm not sure if it's open for next year already, but surely within the next couple of months after this event. If you would like to participate, that's your chance. You sign up, red shirts, media, other interesting things in the scrutineering side. You can apply, and then you will get a response whether you accept it or not.
And just to remind you guys, it's food and drinks is included.
And accommodation.
And accommodation as well. So you don't have a lot of say in who your roommate is going to be. Maybe it's a very loud snorer. You never know. Jonas, right? But anyway, it's fun. It's so yeah, I can highly recommend it. We've been doing this for a couple of years now, and we've always enjoyed it. It's long days, long hard work, but you're used to it, right? As a former student team member, you're used to long hours and long days.
Your reflexes kick in at a certain point, and then 5.5 hours of sleep just feel like a regular day from back in the day.
Yeah, some conversation going on between some of the officials. I'm not exactly sure what the topic is. I see Augsburg just waiting in the queue patiently. Maybe they just need some time to get everything sorted. Yeah, I don't see a lot of stress. Well, they don't have to have a lot of stress because they're the only one in the queue, right? So
the queue is
they
empty,
have
an hour 20
more
to
than
go.
an hour. They have 75 minutes to do this, so it shouldn't be an issue. So I think, yeah, now they are way through by one of the marshals, and I think that second run because they were in the second run queue. We see them here earlier, right? So what was their first time again? I think we had this conversation earlier.
I'm
just
not sure if they set a time. We need to look at the board. That was a DNF indeed. So this is their last chance for today to set a time.
Oh, now I remember. It was the unverlässig, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now that we see the memorizable, recognizable part on the rear wing.
Yeah, it's nice to see the memes on the wings, right? Or the hopes and prayers. Please no DQs, or even funny commentator comments like Lübeck fire.
We had that one come back a year later.
Like,
absolutely, yeah. That was really great to see.
Oh, it was even on the same competition.
Oh
yeah,
no,
yeah,
it was.
Yeah, we said it during autocross something about Lübeck fires, and then the next day it was on the wing, which was actually quite awesome to see.
It is a little bit sad that we won't be able to repeat that one, since yeah, combustion cars this year from the historic class are still present, but in the regular classes there's only electrics here at FSG. Some other competitions you do still see running combustion classes, even here in Europe, but at FSG it's all electric since last year.
Yeah, well, we have to do some thinking and digging in our memories. We're getting older, as we felt this morning.
Yeah, getting up this early makes you feel which decade you're in for sure.
Yeah, every year we say, "Oh, we're getting too old for this," but every year we're back, so that says something, right?
The gift that keeps on giving, for sure.
And there we go with Augsburg. Car number 110. Wiggly, wiggly, wiggly. Oh! Okay, I have to say, by far the most spectacular run so far.
For sure. Closely followed by the wiggles of a team that escapes me, Barcelona, that was it. But yeah, this time we definitely have timing equipment damage. I did see some tripods of the reflectors go flying. And some tire smoke, which you can also smell right now. So yeah, definitely the award for the most spectacular driverless acceleration this year to Augsburg. I hope there is no car damage. I wouldn't expect so. Maybe a little dent here and there on the right-hand side as they smashed into the little tripods.
Probably a dent in the egos of some of the team members, for sure.
For sure as well.
Let me check if I can see. I don't see any damage on the car, at least so far as I can see with my binoculars. Yeah, it's really unfortunate for them because I think that's their second DNF. So usually it means no points for them, but well, at least they got a spectacular finish.
As Augsburg clears their stricken car off the track, all the cones are already back in position. And I think they moved the timing beams a little bit further away after this incident. KIT is pushing up to the starting line. We haven't seen anything at the acceleration from them today yet, at least not that I know of. So a relatively late run from them in the day. I would have expected to see most teams for their first run already, but I do have very high hopes for the KIT car. They are usually extremely strong in the driverless disciplines, and I think they might give AMZ a run for their money. So who knows, maybe we'll see the 3 seconds tumble in this upcoming run.
This should be interesting though, but I still think the time from Zurich will be pretty hard to beat. That looked so composed and so, well, solid and decent and fast. So
Slow
if they do it...
smooth as fast, absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, the oscillations that Augsburg picked up are exactly what you want to avoid. Some kind of spin up of the integrator towards the end there. Just not quite wanting to go straight, and exactly what we already talked about, the reaction time in the control systems of the car just being too long to be able to counter steer. Talked about the composure and sort of body language of the team members quite a bit, and yeah, just as I would expect, they seem to be extremely relaxed about this whole thing. Well prepared, people know where to go, where to put their stuff, who does what. This is a well-oiled team.
Yeah, fingers crossed we have a proper battle between some of the teams for the top spot. So far, very close between Zurich and Stuttgart. Very, very close. Let's see if the other Ulm team can join the fight.
Yeah, again, a couple of cars with very similar color schemes and car shapes. I had to walk past this car just to read the university name and make sure that I'm not saying the wrong thing. Another thing about confidence is that I haven't seen from any other car except for Zurich is an open DRS. That usually hints at the team wanting to go for absolute top speed. The last 2 elements in this case of the rear wing are tilted back to minimize the drag from the absolute sail that some of these cars are carrying around with them, just to give it that little bit of extra top speed as you cross the finish line.
Yeah, it's an interesting choice, doesn't it? Is it the first 10 meters that you're focusing on? Then you want to have it close, ideally. obviously, the optimum solution would be for the DRS to open automatically at a certain point, because then you get the best of both worlds. You get the initial traction or resistance. I don't know how much it works at low speeds. I don't know if that's really optimal. Probably I would choose to go with an open DRS from the start, just to make it simple. And I don't know how much you win on the first 10 meters with a closed DRS.
Aerodynamics are always quite difficult to...
Yeah, it's mechanical grip, isn't it, at the first 10 or 20 meters, right? So.
Looks like the team got set up well. Car responsible now standing right behind the car, together with Christian with the stopwatch. I hear a beep, they're off. Very smooth start, no wheel slip at all. Time is not quite what I was expecting, a 4.11.
Yeah, so the start seemed very impressive, still a very solid run. But when it got off the line, it gave me the impression, okay, now it will accelerate through. But after that, it didn't really accelerate.
It did sound like they had a speed limit set.
Exactly.
From, I don't know, the first 20 meters onwards, the car just wasn't accelerating any further.
Actually, we can check the first 10-meter time, just to see whether we are talking BS again or not, which we sometimes do.
But at the same time, this is also exactly what I would have done as a team that hasn't put down a run yet. Get a time on the board. It is a pretty fast time at that. Easily puts them in the top 5, if I'm not mistaken. But then come back, really turn it up for your second run and see how far you can push it.
Yeah, just I think our hunch was correct, Jonas, because their run, the time on their first 10 meters, it's a 0.55. That's pretty quick.
That sounds quite fast, right off the line. What does the AMZ compare to?
You know what the time of AMZ is on the first 10 meters?
0.33.
0.55. So they have exactly the same time on the first 10 meters. So our initial judgments that the launch was pretty good was actually spot on, within the hundredths of a second. It's just after that the acceleration was just not there. But the first 10 meters were as impressive as Zurich car.
Absolutely, yeah. So if the team members can hear us, please turn it up for the second run. We really want to see what this car can do up against Zurich. In the queue, we have car number 69 from Mannheim being ready. This is their first run of the day. And far back in the distance, I also see car number 42. If I'm not mistaken, that's Prague, perhaps coming back for their second run.
Mannheim, car number 69, first run.
First run. Usually I would associate that number with a certain Hamburg team that I haven't seen at the competition here this year yet. So Mannheim maybe took it from them unintentionally because it was open. Nevertheless, yeah, good to see a team that I don't recall being at driverless in the last couple of years. But then again, just the opposite memory to an elephant. We forget a lot of stuff over the years.
Yeah, we're the elephant opposites. We forget more than we remember, but that's okay. Mannheim, really decent looking car, a nice aero package as well. Team looks pretty relaxed. So, and we see some writing on the wing, upside down. I have no idea what it says.
It only took 2 seasons. It says upside down. Maybe that is a hint at the development time of the car, or to get a certain system going. If I had to hazard a guess as to the hashtag below modern torquing, probably related to the control systems.
So it's the fact that it's upside down. It has to do with style, I guess. Sometimes it's better to look at upside down. Actually, we're in luck because we have one of the photographers here, Alistair, and he's from Australia. He's from the land down under, so he can actually read the sign. He can read the sign without any problems.
Problems though for them out on track. It looks like they aborted the run for one or the other reason. It was going, if not fast. I didn't see any wiggles that I would see as a cause for concern from an external source to kill the car. But they, maybe the car itself decided that it wasn't going to be able to follow the track any longer.
Yeah, it wasn't going off track or doing anything dangerous, so I wouldn't imagine the safety official to press the panic button. But we don't know. That's purely speculative, as always. We do like to speculate if we don't know stuff. Which reminds me, fill in the forum, the commentary forum for us, please. If you want to have some shout-outs or some information for us to tell the audience, maybe watching at home, or sponsors that you would like to thank. By our legendary commentary team. Of course, we will do that usually we do that during the endurance because we have a bit more time per car. We try to do that during the autocross events as well because that's also nice to do, but sometimes it's a bit more hectic with all the action going on with 5 or 6 cars on track at one time. So, but still, please do not forget to fill out the commentary form. It's much appreciated, and then we don't have to make things up and speculate a lot about your teams. So we had a couple of, the last couple of cars weren't too fast, but the other ones, the too fast car is actually here in the queue, so we will see them shortly.
And indeed, I think the teams that are now pushing towards the starting line are teams that maybe opted to complete their runs of the manual skid pad first. Gutsy move, I would say. I think I would have gone for acceleration first. Nevertheless, I see Munich, car number 31, at the back of the track. And I think Aachen is coming back for another run. And still waiting all the way, as they had been, is Prague.
Yeah, but it's nice and relaxed, right? So there's a lot of time still left. We have 1 hour left in this event, the driverless acceleration event. So yeah, just come over here. Remember, it takes 5 minutes per thing. No, knowing in Zurich, they will be back trying to beat their own personal time. That's something we've seen in the years, right? Even though they were first, it's always a matter of honor, right? Or matter of prestige to try to pride to try to beat your own record, right? So I wouldn't be surprised if they will be back with even maybe the setting put on maximum or ridiculous setting or something like that. I don't know. They're really good at that. So.
Yeah, I should check later if they have a knob in the cockpit that says full send on it, or 11, who knows.
Yeah, while Lisbon and the officials are patiently waiting for the previous car to, just to clear the track. As soon as they're around the corner, the track is declared green or clear. I think that's about now. So yeah, now Christian is saying, start the car, please.
Ready to drive sound.
Yeah, there we go.
Lots of wheel spin right off the line. Slight wiggle, very straight. In the finish zone, very late braking. That's out of control. The car did not recognize the finish line there. And
it's unfortunate. It went to the left pretty hard.
Yeah.
That was quick reaction because it was a high-speed turn.
It was very fast towards the end there. It did not brake at all, and the further away the car goes, the more difficult it becomes to tell what to do in terms of killing the car.
That was quick reaction by the safety guy. From,
this
from
is
the
about
team,
20 meters away from the concrete barrier.
Yeah, unfortunate for them, it will not count as a valid run, but it was really impressive.
Yeah,
and the time was pretty decent as well. So pretty decent. I say pretty fast.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, the car needs to stop by its own volition in the orange cone zone. There is a reason there's 2 cones placed at the end. It just blasted through those. We're seeing quite some interesting runs here towards the end. The beginning was so tame and composed, and now we're seeing a lot of off-course events. Yeah,
that has to do everything with the first run being cautious, right? And then the second run, the teams are putting the car on ridiculous full send mode or something like that. I mean, yeah,
on one hand, you like to see it, but
yeah, of course.
As a team, that's tough, of course. And FSG, as always, can be a different game than the testing locations that the teams operate on. We've seen it in the past, especially on the track drive, on the infield side of the dynamic area, where there is additional sponsor banners placed there, extra colors, extra shapes that the car might mistakenly identify as cones that can throw things off. If we look here from the start line onwards, there is, of course, the sides leading into turn 1, the curbs sort of painted black and white. There is the sausage curbs at the very end that are red. You never know what goes on inside of the head of the track recognition systems.
Now, looking at the Lisbon car with my binoculars from afar, my eyes aren't that good anymore, but that's why we have tools. Anyway, it doesn't seem they had any damage. I didn't see any of the team members crying or being angry. So I
wheelie
think
boards coming out.
Yeah,
that would
exactly.
have been sort of worst case.
Yeah, that's the worst case situation, isn't it? If suspension is broken or whatever,
yeah.
then actually the desperation sets in. But none of that, fortunately. And we have Munich. We have Mach doch on the wing. Translation, please.
I think they took a page out of Nike's book. Let's just do it. So yeah, maybe this is full send. Definitely a good start, good launch. Definitely a speed limit applied, but nevertheless 3.76, one of the faster times of the day. Blue light is a valid run as well. Stopped within the finish zone. No muss, no fuss.
Yeah, interestingly, the first 10 meters is at 0.62, so very, very decent indeed. But they lost 700ths of a second already on the first 10 meters, and that translates to a bit more towards the end.
More
so,
lost,
yeah, in the end it's half a second, right? So difference with Zurich. But this was their first run, so second run, who knows? So, a car from CTU Prague. A really nice looking car. Let's hope they checked everything on the car. Yeah, just again, we're waiting for the track to be cleared before the team from Prague can go ahead, and I think it's going to be, yeah, it's going to be a couple of seconds before the track is clear. As far as I can see, that's almost the case from our side. Looking at Christian, he's just about to give the go-ahead to CTU Prague. Yeah, I think that's about it. We will hear the sound soon, hopefully. Yeah, there we go, on cue. And there we go, good start. Pretty straight, I would say very straight. Very good time indeed, 3.6, and it's a valid run as far as I can see.
Absolutely.
Absolutely perfect
Much
run
better
from
than their first attempt. Time on the board, and a fast one at that.
Yeah, they joined the exclusive club of the team below the 4 seconds, and well below 3.6. That's very impressive. And they didn't even cheer that much about it, so they somehow were expecting it, weren't they?
I mean, they weren't expecting not completing their first run. I think they made the right changes, nevertheless, and now it just worked.
And they probably said, okay, 3.6, check.
Take that event off and move on to greener pastures.
And still we have cars in the queue. We were worried that we would have a coffee break, but that didn't happen. We still have cars in the queue, so we are happily commentating on the rest of the 40 minutes left in this event. We have Barcelona coming up for their second run. Yeah, I don't remember. First run
was the dynamic one. That was the oscillations towards the end that we saw. I don't recall if it was killed or not. If it was a valid run, they were pretty fast, so I'm expecting at least a good time. I also see Chalmers returning. Car numbers are really hard to read when they're almost horizontal. Who else is in the first run queue there? I see an Austrian flag.
First run queue? Does this one here? This one is TU Wien. A pretty impressive aero package. Wings everywhere.
Lots of sticky uppy bits. And another car coming into the first run queue. It's getting a little bit busy again. Yeah,
as predicted. They are coming back from a skip pad. So, but we don't mind. We don't mind at all. Just going to look at it. So first run queue we have TU Wien. And just behind them, let me take a look at the number, which is Uni Erlangen, car number 149. And just behind, in the second run queue, we have Chalmers. And just behind them, we have TU Hamburg. We've seen those two earlier this morning. We see the scrutineers just checking all the components of the car from both Erlangen and Wien. Vienna for non-German speakers.
I'll quickly head to the...
Yeah, sure. Which car was this? Yeah, and we have Barcelona. Let me see if the... Yeah, it wiggled all the way. But yeah, it looks like a valid run. So well done, Barcelona. Good job. Looked pretty decent. A couple of wiggles, but no matter. Decent points again. So great job. Yeah, car number 41, TU Wien on the track. Really nice looking car, just walking around, looking at all the wings and all the aero packages. It's a lot of work to get right. Really impressive looking car. Should be fast as well on track. I also see even an M sign from BMW, so it's a motorsport edition, obviously. Yeah, really nice. Looking at the track, it's almost clear. I think Christian is just checking whether the team is doing all the steps necessary within the allotted time. And looks like he's giving the thumbs up to the team. Track is clear, so we can go. Time has started. So the safety official, there we go. Pretty good launch. Just swearing off to the side, collecting a couple of cones. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like it was a valid run. So our safety official didn't really make the sounds and the noise and the arm. What's this? Is this a combustion car? I don't think so.
Because of your comments.
Yeah, so next car, 149 from Erlangen. Again, a very nice aero package, a lot of wings. Really should be really impressive on the autocross, at least. These cars generate so much downforce, it just sticks to the cars stick to the asphalt, especially if they have the tire within the right window of temperature. It really sticks to the asphalt, so it looks really good. Yeah, just interesting to see. I think the previous car, the Vienna car, is still on track. So also the marshals are rebuilding the track. It did take out quite some cones, so it will take a while before the track is cleared. In the meantime, we have a couple of more cars in the queue. We're getting to a point, we have 35 minutes left. That usually means about 7 cars, 7, 8, maybe 9 cars if we're lucky. So that means that if you want to do a run, then please make sure you get into the queue as soon as possible, because we already have 4 cars waiting with a 5th one on the line. So that means we have ample time for a couple of more cars, maybe 4 cars left. So please take that queue spot as soon as possible if you're well, ready and able, obviously. Yeah, and I can see also a couple of teams coming up to the queue as well. I think also some returning cars. I think Barcelona is being pushed back, but they're done for as far as I can tell. Just going to post scrutineering. And then I'm just looking at the queue. All the teams in there are just preparing the cars. And as we told earlier, even some of the guys cleaning all the tires, all the little stones, little rubbish. Yeah, and you see now it's getting busy in the queue. A couple of new teams as well, as far as I can tell, because I haven't seen them before. So that means that these probably are teams that have done skid pad first, and then coming here for the acceleration. Yeah, it's going to be busy. So this will be quite interesting. Unfortunately, the Erlangen car didn't make it too far. Let me see if I can see what happened there, but the car stopped pretty close after the line, just about 10-15 meters. Yeah, unfortunately that didn't work out for them. But then we have Ghent University, another Belgian team coming up to the line. Also really nice looking car. I really like these aero packages. Really well thought of. Maybe not as much wings as some of the other cars, but really nice looking as well. And I really like the fact that they have a see-through backside of the car, so you can actually see all the electronics, all the motors inside the car. That looks really cool. I like that. And also a nice little touch on the wing. Jonas, just returning, it says it's designed for speed, tested in panic.
Yeah, that's definitely recognizable for anyone that's been in the sort of pre-season hustle of a Formula student. The car performance as it is on paper very rarely translates 100% to how it goes out on track, but that's all part of the learning experience.
And as predicted, towards the end, it's getting hot and heavy. We already have more cars than theoretically is possible to complete all the runs within the 5 minutes a lot of the time. So, as we told earlier, please be in the queue as soon as possible, because it takes a long time, especially if the track is destroyed by the cone collector mode. It takes a lot of time, so it should be interesting from now on. And we still haven't seen Zurich back for their second run.
I don't see them in the queue, so unless there is teams pushing back quicker than the 5 minutes that we're sort of calculating with, I think we won't be seeing them again. Sometimes teams drop out of the queue, so we definitely can't call it until it is actually 12 o'clock. But as with almost any dynamic event towards the end, it does get busy again. Even though still the couple of minutes of breaks that we've had along the way still make me really happy with how the queues went here so far this morning. Now at the front of the first run queue, car from Stockholm. Car number 171. Behind that, at the top of the second run queue, is still Chalmers. Then I see Hamburg. Behind them is Lisbon again. Then Schweinfurt.
And you're missing the action, Jonas, from the Ghent University. Just filling in. I mean, I know the queue is quite exciting and everything, but on-track action is also exciting. Unfortunately, Ghent just went off track just before the finish line, which is unfortunate for them. Let's hope they can get the second run in just after this one, but it's going to be tight for sure. But unfortunately, they didn't manage to put in no time.
Yeah, they were so quiet. I didn't hear them set off at all. Usually the ready-to-drive sound makes me stop waffling, but sorry about that.
Yeah, no worries. I mean, I didn't hear them as well, because I just happened to look that way and I saw them just going off track. But just quiet panic mode, I think, from the team. Yeah, and we have car number 171. Has a huge sign on the wing. It says safety car. I don't know what the story behind that is. I will try to find out from other teams. But it's our Christian doesn't know either. So we'll just have to ask one of the teams, one of the team members. But it's KTH Stockholm, another of our Scandinavian friends. I'll just ask one of the teams what the safety car sign is about. Yeah, I just heard the story about the safety car sign. So actually it has a story behind that. During FS Austria, they had a cooling issue, so they really had to drive slowly, meaning bunching up all the other cars behind them. So actually they were setting the pace just like a safety car. Now they have the big sign to remind them of that. So that's a nice story. Unfortunately, looks like the car doesn't want to go.
No,
Stockholm guys.
They're asking for the push bar again.
Yeah. So they need to go back. Especially now, there's not much time left. 25 minutes, a little bit more. And Q is for just absolutely hammered at the moment.
If I see it correctly, yeah, it's 10 cars. And that's about twice as many as I think we'll still be able to see running here in this event so far.
Yeah, we don't know 100% sure what it will, but usually last couple of years 12 o'clock will be the end of this event. But that means that there are no cars, at least in the first run queue. So that means that every car that was here and able to compete at least had one attempt
had a fair
at
chance.
Exactly.
Yes, indeed.
So all these cars are here for their second attempt. Whether the first one is a DNF or not, we don't know. Well, I mean, we can look it up on the timing page, but at least they had in a first attempt. So that's the good news. And the bad news is if you're on the last one in the queue, the chances that you can do a second run are diminishing as we speak.
Yeah, maybe Stockholm is lucky they are pushing back, but maybe they are pushing back to roll out, and that would make it very difficult if you're at the back.
Even if you go back towards the end of the queue, which I think is the rule that you have to go back. Then yeah, if it were an hour earlier, yeah, then you can have a second run, second attempt. But now it's difficult. So yeah, our first initial assessment about the timing of the queue is not that bad actually.
Yeah, still holding up. Chalmers setting off very good launch once it got going, bottoming very heavily in the finish zone. Still waiting for a blue response. There we go. That's a valid run.
Yeah, well done. Excellent time as well. 3.76 if I saw that correctly, quickly.
Definitely up there in the top 5, I would say. Next up, we have Hamburg pushing to the start line.
Yeah, indeed, 3.76. It's not showing as green, so I think their first time was a bit quicker even. So
okay, they tried.
It was a confirmation of their very solid performance on the driverless acceleration.
Yeah, and hopefully for Hamburg, their second run is going to go a little better than the first one. Hopefully this time it goes straight down the track. I think Lisbon would also be looking to improve a not so successful first run, if my memory doesn't deceive me. And yeah, of course, everybody else in the second run queue is looking to improve. It's a bummer that I don't really see KIT in the queue again. So yeah, one of the contenders for the fastest time here today is definitely not in sight right now, but at least Munich is coming back. 10 moments now. Hamburg sets off. Very much straighter than the previous run. 4.87, slowing down, veering off the track. No, the first run was a different failure mode. It just veered off right at the start. So at least this time they crossed the finish line. I can't tell from here whether they killed the car or it stopped in that position by its own doing. Is the blue solid? Ah, it's blinking. Okay, that means probably bad news. that this run won't count either. For the third time today then, the hairdryer is back. Lisbon going for their, well, third attempt, but second run. They pushed back earlier before engaging the autonomous system, so they still get to give it another try. There is still some discussion from the Hamburg car responsible with Christian about the validity of their run, I would assume. But now they're headed off to collect.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure I saw it blinking first and now it's solid. I'm not sure whether that happened afterwards or maybe after it's blinking then it turns solid after a while. We don't know, we speculate. So again, everything we say is not official. Official is being made by the officials and we're not that official.
Go figure.
We're pretty unofficial.
Only says media on the back of our vests, luckily. We can speculate. And
we should have different vests, like saying unofficial or something. I don't know. Should be interesting. Yeah, then we have still, I think it's the car 127 in the first run queue.
Maybe that's check. Swiss?
Yeah, that could be. Let me see. 127 Lausanne, actually. So yeah, we haven't seen them yet. Car does have some similarities with others, as usual, of course. But it's so they're lucky because they still have time to do at least one attempt. So all the other ones in the second or second run queue, they'll just have to wait.
Yeah, and I think looking at the time, Munich might be the unlucky one that doesn't get to run anymore. Because the way I see it, we have about 5 minutes for Lisbon, 5 minutes for Lausanne, 5 minutes for Schweinfurt, and 5 minutes for Dortmund. And then that might be it for today.
Maybe 1 or 2 extra, because I think Lisbon has been sitting on the track for a while, so they don't need 5 minutes. Well, we don't know. But I think the track is clear now, as far as I can see. Yeah, the previous car has been pushed off.
At the same time, I would expect that if a car rolls up to the start line before 12, that would still be allowed as a run. At least sort of going going with what we've seen in the last couple of years. Lisbon's ready to go. Lots of wheel spin again from them. Slight wiggles into the finishing area. It does stop as opposed to the last one.
Yeah, solid blue. Very well done and a very good time, 3.7 something. So very, very good indeed. So they are very, very good to be happy with this. Let's see what the time actual was in the end. Yeah, 3.75. Very, very good. Green time, so that means that their second attempt is faster than the first one, if that was even valid. So yeah, very good job from the Lisbon guys. Good, great job.
Yeah, especially after that shock of the almost entirely off track that we saw in their first attempt.
And they're really happy in the golf cart. I mean, being driven around in a golf cart is a reason to be happy,
it's
but
always fun.
Of course. But now they're extra happy because they have a very good time on the board. Still not beating the Zurich time, but hey, that's maybe that's a bar that's just too high. But 3.76, that's a load of points for the ranking.
Okay, Schweinfurt at the ready. The car is prepared. We're just waiting for Lisbon to again push clear off the track. There is a really annoying extension of the curb further than where the concrete wall ends, and that's always what the teams are having to clear on foot.
Yeah, I think the track is clear and the time is running because I see some blinking lights and everything, but I'm not sure whether... I think Christian is having a conversation with the timekeepers guys, because I'm seeing him staring at the black van, which doesn't make sense because you cannot see anything inside, but it doesn't matter. But I think they're in conversation, yeah, and you can definitely tell there's something going on.
At least the transponder system has picked up the right car number. That's usually a good sign. But
yeah, track is clear. So Schweinfurt is being given the go-ahead, and off they go. Pretty decent start, accelerating right through. Oh, that doesn't sound pretty good. I'm afraid that's some kind of damage on the car. Doesn't look good. Yeah, I see pieces of carbon fiber, unfortunately. Yeah, there's definitely some damage on the car. Looks like pieces of the front wing. It did take out a number of cones with high speed, and I think that damaged the front wing. So that's really unfortunate for them. Yeah, and this is what can happen in any motor racing event. When something happens with the car, some damage on the wing, on the track. Track has to be rebuilt. The marshals obviously have to clear all the debris from the track. We see carbon fiber. They definitely have to clear that because that's actually quite sharp and it can damage your tires or whatever, or people or whatever. Yeah, so it's really nasty stuff. If it's destroyed, it can really have really rough edges, really sharp edges. So they have to clean it up, and that takes time. And if you do this, and this is the risk of waiting a long time to get into the queue, because if something like this happens 15 minutes before the end. Yeah, it's not like we have a red flag situation and time stops, unfortunately, because we don't have that time. You know, in Formula One, they can have a red flag, clean up the track, and start again, for example, within a certain amount of time, obviously. But unfortunately, we don't have half an hour to overshoot the end time. So we have to make sure this event is finished in time for all the organizers to have their breaks.
Yeah, the rest of the clock is of the schedule is ticking down, is looming at the end of the lunch break. Then again, quite a few red shirts made it to the scene of the accident and are clearing it quite quickly. There's a broom out on track, that's good to see. And yeah, hearts go out to the Schweinfurt guys. That's a lot of damage from a couple of cones. It was looking good, pretty good too, in terms of time.
Yeah, so we have a whole army of officials trying to clear the track. I think they already managed to do that and also rebuild the track, which was pretty fast. Let's hope the team that can, the previous car got damaged, so the team can repair the damage and continue this afternoon, because this afternoon we have a couple of other dynamic events as well. So in the meantime, we have 12 minutes left on the clock, and we have the car from Lausanne on track here, getting ready. Christian is back as well. So let me just check with him whether they will extend or not. Yeah, and just got a confirmation from Christian. 12 o'clock is, unfortunately, it's 12 o'clock. They will not be able to extend the event beyond 12 o'clock because all the reasons that we've talked about earlier. Lausanne got off the track carefully, but surely, navigating towards the end. Yeah, it's a solid blue. Yeah, they're very happy and rightfully so to be able to finish this event. Decent points on the board. It wasn't the fastest, obviously, but it was very, very sure and yeah, rightfully so to be happy about this performance. Yeah, we have car number 172, TU Dortmund, up on the line. We'll have to wait a little bit for Lausanne to clear the track. Hopefully they can do it quite fast. So we can get on with the next one. And I see another car in the first run queue. Just going to check which one that is. It's car number 284 from Toronto. We seen yesterday in a crazy 20 as well. Yeah, all the way from North America. Yeah, very, very solid competitors every year. Sometimes they make it over to Europe. They always compete in the US competitions, I know that. But they're here as well, competing against the best. And they have probably still the time to do their first run, because they get preference before the second run teams. We'll just have to make sure that the track is clear and there are no obstacles, but it will take a while to complete that. In the meanwhile, just take a look how many cars there are in the second queue. Let me see there. I count at least 3, 4, 6, 8 cars at least. That will be pretty tight, if not impossible. We have 10 minutes left on the clock, and 12 o'clock will be the end of this event. Yeah, and it looks like the track is clear. Lausanne is off the track, so that means TU Dortmund can go. No, it's unfortunately stopped. Yeah, unfortunately that's DNF for them. And I see the next car in line, car number 69, and they're hurrying up from Mannheim. Maybe they are lucky and they will get a shot, but I'm not sure. No, unfortunately, it's 12 o'clock and the event is finished. Yeah, pretty unlucky for the HBW from Mannheim. Yeah, they just locked out, unfortunately, and they didn't get a second run. Yeah, this happens every year, unfortunately. 12 o'clock is 12 o'clock. We announced it a couple of times as well. So yeah, just to give you a rundown of the times. Yeah, very impressive time from Zurich, 3.23, closely followed by Trondheim on the very last second of the competition with a 3.3. Very impressive time indeed. Trondheim with a 3.42. Munich 3.55. Also the time for Göteborg from Chalmers, 3.55. CTU Prague 3.6, Stuttgart 3.68, Prague again with 6.39, so that doesn't count in the ranking because they have a quicker time, and then Lisboa 3.75 as well. So a couple of teams, quite a decent number of teams below the 4-second threshold. So that's pretty good job from all these teams, and obviously all the teams that completed this event have done a good job. So yeah, that's it from us.
thank you for watching us and listening to our commentary. Yeah, just to remind everybody, at 1 o'clock we will continue with the other events. There's plenty more action on track today, and plenty more bantering from us as well. So yeah, Jonas had to leave a little bit early, but from my side, thank you for listening, and we'll see you at 1 o'clock.